So last video I went out and I did some driving and that all went pretty well. Got 13.7 on the draggy and I realized that my exhaust cutout wasn't opening. Didn't sound like it was opening. I don't think it was opening. When I was at work today I was thinking about it and it hit me. The vacuum line that I had plumbed into the boost valve was teed into my bottom wastegate line, and that was fine before because it was getting 100% reference. But then when I added my boost controller, I added the boost controller and split the bottom section, like the bottom line, and then I added another line to the top. So what was happening then, that valve wasn't getting 100% boost reference, so now I split that, I put a different line on it so there's no T in it, and then I added this line here to the little fitting on the back of the intake. I snipped that off and added that so it has its own specific reference, and then now the bottom line doesn't have a T in it anymore. Two T's in it. One actually went to the valve and then there was one just open, probably why it hit 16 psi at 30% duty cycle. So it'll probably be a little bit lower at the same 30% because I don't have a T on it, but I'll be able to test that. So let's go drive it and get that valve to open. And I think it'd be a good test to see, one, how much noise it makes, and two, if it goes any faster with an open cutout, because right now it went 13.7 with 13.7 through full exhaust on like 15, 16 pounds and 12 degrees of timing. So we'll kind of leave everything the same, get it back to that same level if it lowers the boost, and then see if it makes any change with the cutout open. Yeah, she's opening now. I can hear it. Coupler off again. I think it's more of an issue of the valve body, not the valve body, the throttle body not having a rib all the way around it. There's not like a bead, there's a flat spot on about a quarter of the throttle body. So I don't know if I need to weld a bead or something on there so it has something to grab to. But like the top right side of it, there's a bead all the way around, the other part's flat. I can show you that. But that's kind of annoying, because it keeps sliding off that spot. So I even moved the T-bolt clamp to that side and it just popped off. So I'm gonna data log and I want to see what this 1-2 shift does let's see what the 1-2 shift does with the no boost. And then I felt it hit back again, hard again in the gear. So I'll look at that log and see how that looks. And then the 2-3 shift was kind of a little bit lazy because the RPM's coming up slower, so it doesn't happen as fast. But it actually felt pretty decent. I'd like to try it under boost, and then maybe I'll just keep it that way. Actually, it felt good. Yeah, that's what I've been fighting right there. You see how there's no lip on that side? It's just flat. All the way down to here, there's nothing there, so that's where it's kind of popping off, because I caught it once early and I saw it like halfway off of this part. This is all still intact. This slides off and then it just goes pop. I also got, I think I got about an hour before the junkyard closes. I think I'm going to cruise over to the junkyard and I'm going to drive on the scale. I want to see how heavy this thing is as it sits right now. So I'll just kind of sneak on, drive on, and then drive off. Done it before, I'll do it again. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, sorry about the video last night. You're probably watching that video right now. I think it uploaded. It was dark for most of the video, so I used the video editor to kind of modify it so you could see me a little bit better, or see something in the video. But it kind of looked like crap a little bit. Kind of looked like red and other stuff. So yeah, it did pull timing. It only pulled once and then it put it back in on the 1-2 shift. So that actually looked like really good, I think. Maybe it looked okay. So yeah, that's not too bad. I think the 1-2 shift is the bad one on the 4L60s, right? I think that's usually when it's bad. I think my favorite part about this thing so far is I can just jump in and drive it like nothing ever happened. So this is our daily driver for like the last 7 years before I started doing this stuff to it. And I just feel as confident as getting in this thing today as I did when we've been driving it for the last 7 years. So that's kind of cool. Nice, comfortable, quiet, has heat, AC, everything's good. That's what I wanted. I might actually have to get a higher temperature thermostat for this though. It has a stock thermostat in it, but as I'm cruising on the highway, the temperature is 177 right now. Coolant temp. So intake temp is 59. So it seems like it's doing that. Even if I sit on the side of the road and let it idle and get up to like 210 and I cruise it on the highway, it'll come down to like 170. So granted it's cold outside right now because it's winter, but I might actually have to get a higher temperature thermostat and then let the fans do more regulating right now because the fans aren't even on, it's just cruising at 170. Alright, so I'm going to pull on the scale quick. I've done this a couple times. I just drive on and then drive out, leave. I don't know if they're mad or not because I don't really stop long enough. So let's see what we got for weight. 6,100 pounds. 6,100. Whoa, whoa. Then I just look around a lot like I'm confused. Then I just leave. 6,100. I was thinking like 5,500, but I guess I have been getting pretty fluffy. I was not expecting that. I guess there is some stuff in here too, and I have a half a tank of fuel. And by stuff, I mean like a fuel cell. The big box back there is a 20-gallon fuel cell. And so there's not really a lot of stuff. 6,100. Little red 100. Little red 100. So yeah, now that I have the weight, I usually use the Wallace Racing Calculator app and then like to try to figure out power. So now with the draggy and I have an accurate weight, I can kind of get an estimate on power based on the time and the weight. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to do that, because I'm not really going to be on a dyno or measuring power, but kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So I punched in the number from yesterday's 1373 and 6,100 pounds, because this is exactly how I was driving it yesterday, and it came out to like 465. Yeah, 465 horsepower. So that'll be like a good baseline number. Let's see if there's any improvements after that. So now I'll go back out and I'll try to do a pull, put the coupler back. I put the coupler back on. I'll try to do another pull and see if opening that valve makes it go any faster. If it goes any faster, pick the power. Come on. Alright, so I went and I fixed another coupler. It actually blew off the turbo this time and lost the clamp. So this, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those trucks that's one of those builds that's just going to fight you every step of the way. Like the Mustang just went too well, so now I have to have one that I'm going to struggle with constantly on stupid stuff. Alright, so I have it set back to a regular tune, no torque management thingy dingy. Data logging. Don't lose the coupler and open the valve. right, so like 30 pulls later, we still have a working vehicle and a working transmission. We're discovering issues though, slowly but surely. I do have the couplers that keep popping off here. This is kind of a shitty setup though. I really need to just get a good coupler. That's what I'm gonna do, is put a good coupler on and to make this bend. I'll probably take and do like an aluminum bend into like a 4 to 3 inch. Kind of like that guy right there. And yeah, I just have regular hose clamps on this thing and I ran like 18, 20 pounds, no issues. So it looks like I'm starting to get a little bit of a leak coming out from under this bolt right here. And we have a bunch of oil spitting out over here because of the hole in the dipstick tube right there. So I'm gonna have to put something over that. Robert from Dadillac Garage actually has had a decent idea. He just took like a piece of rubber fuel line, slid it over that, and then hose clamped it on. So that was a pretty good quick fix. So I might do something like that. It did spit quite a bit of oil all over the place though. But other than that, overall, I can't be too disappointed. So it's a little challenging, I would say, mentally going from an 8-second Mustang to this thing. So I'm like expecting better results right away. But it's a heavy thing and stock cam, stock converter. So I really don't have a reason to be disappointed. I'm just like, be better, you know, like, so that's where we're gonna go, is we're gonna upgrade, make it better. I already have the cam and springs, and I talked to my buddy. Some of you guys probably remember my buddy with the C10. He has a 5.3 that I've been trying to get him to get that thing done. He wanted to do a manual transmission, and he just doesn't really have a lot of time to work on stuff, so that's the big thing. And I told him that he can use this 4L60, so I'm trying to talk him into just putting the 4L60 into it's like a 68 C10. So I want to work on that thing with him and get that thing driving. So if he agrees to take that thing, then I might rip this out sooner than later and start working on the transmission, which I should probably just do anyways. I should probably just do that. All right, so kind of wanted to show you where I was at with that torque management deal. And kind of working towards it, and it seemed like it was working good, but I don't think it's working the right way, so I want to show you why. And this is why I didn't really want to show the tables and what I was doing, because I want to make sure it would, you know, something that works before I start just putting stuff out there. So so you can see it's pulling timing, and it felt really good. It felt like a decent shift. It starts to pull timing here, pulls about 20 degrees out. Yeah, 17 degrees out, and then I put it back in. So in my head, like I talked about, I feel like the gear change would be finished and then starting to pull the RPM down. So what I wanted to do, and this one looked pretty good too, it's like gradually pulling timing and then started to add the timing back in when the RPM came back down. So what I did was I wanted to compare it to the torque management on HP tuners. So I went back and I found some old logs and found a little pull that I did here with the torque management from the stock file. So if I zoom in on this a little bit, I'll show you the differences here. So it starts to pull the timing. The white line is the timing. It starts to pull the timing right at the peak. And then as the gear change is happening, it's pulling it down, and it pulls the timing back in after it pulls the RPM down. So that's a little bit different than what I had in my head for what was happening. So essentially, I don't think what I was going after is going to work the right way. So back to the drawing board. But there is another person that is working on this torque management stuff with Holly Terminator X. And he has a YouTube channel called Scrap Metal Sleepers. I'll put a little thing up here. He's doing this for a 6L80 transmission. And it seems like he's having a lot of success with it. And he's been able to keep the 6L80 in his truck alive for a little while. And a big Dodge truck, and he's running 11s with it. So it seems like it's pretty successful, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit different what he's doing versus what I'm trying to do with the 4L60, which I don't know how much time I'm going to dedicate to it because my plan is to just rip it out and go 4L80 anyways. But it's still interesting seeing his stuff. I still got to get through a lot more of his videos because he's got some good stuff out there, but he has other good Holly Terminator X videos out there too, so I wanted to share that with you guys.